بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحقيقة أهلا بكم أحبتي في درس جديد ودرس متمم ومكمل إن شاء الله للدرس المتعلق بالأطيان ودراسة الأطيان المتخصصة في صناعة المواد السيراميكية. So and then we've got the most of also theoretical here related relation associated to the complementary relation or even just here the complementary lesson or the complementary lesson or even the added item point or it's just going to be like co-determinant. The co-determinant or yes, the co-dimensional lecture exactly here for the lectures associated to the clays used in fabricating or even used in manufacturing the ceramics, as you already exactly. So today we're just going to search through the following clays: nephelinite, cyanite. As you can see from here, nepheline, cyanite. So nepheline, cyanite to give you an example, which contains mica and feldspar and nepheline. Nepheline, as indicated from nepheline, as you can see in front of you, which pretty much going to be considered the initial composition of word of the entire title of the clay, as indicated by nepheline, cyanite, as you can see in front of you. So the feldspar is going to be considered as a clay to be incorporated exactly the cyanite, as you can see in front of you, to be incorporated by the nepheline, cyanite, as you can see in front of you, or to incorporate the nepheline, cyanite right into the feldspar, as you pretty much exactly here. So as you can see in front of you, mica is going to be considered as the third clay for the nepheline, cyanite. يعني نيفلاين ساينايت يحتوي على نيفلاين وهو كإشارة الاسم للطين كما ترون أمامكم نيفلاين ساينايت. نيفلاين وفلدسبار ومايكا كما ترون أمامكم، وهو أقوى شيء في الفلكسز، يعني أقوى فلكس يعني من حيث المتانة، من حيث القوة يعني وقوة الترابط. As you can see, the strongest flux can ever be in terms of the binding strength. يعني من حيث قوة المتانة أو الترابط. يحتوي على فلدسبار كسيستم الفلدسبار as well as soda ash يحتوي على الفلدسبار وصودا اش، يعني مكونات الطين. الفلدسبار هو الطين والصودا الفلدسبار هو المكون الرئيسي والصودا اش هو المكون الثاني. Minor constituents, as you can see, major constituents also added part of the mica, each of the mica, the feldspar as well as the nepheline, or the feldspar, nepheline, and mica, as you can see exactly here. يعني كثير من المركبات تضاف إلى الميكا والفلدسبار والنفلاين بتركيب أو النفلاين على تركيب النفلاين ساينايت. يعطي مدى واسع لدرجة الحرارة. Gives wide broad range of temperatures. Displays or offers broader range of temperatures. يعني يعطي مدى واسع درجة الحرارة. نسأل الله سبحانه. يستعمل فيه body composites or composition. As you can see, it shows the body composition or glazes as well as porcelain animals. يستعمل في تركيب الوايت ويرز composition or the wares composition exactly here as referred to the wares manufactured by using the ceramic technicalities or the ceramic based wares or ceramic based object as stated are only going to be known as wares. Glazes بالتزجيج كذلك وبالبورسلين animals يعني بمنتجات المينا للبورسلين. زيادة معدل الحرق firing range, increasing the firing range with the wares used in glass batches to add aluminum in the white wares to escalate the temperature. يستعمل في الجلاس باتشز والإضافة الألومنيوم في المنتجات البيضاء لزيادة درجة الحرارة. This is going to be exactly denoted as a cornish stone. It's indicated what he written over. As you can see over. يعني الطين الثاني مدعى بالكورنيش ستون. الأطيان الأخرى الثانوية يعني أطيان أخرى تستعمل لصناعة المواد السيراميكية تدعى بالكورنيش ستون. لا يكون مثل الفلكس النقي على الفلدسبار. والنفلاين ساينايت يكون كذلك ونفلاين just like the intricate flux except for the feldspar and the nepheline cyanite will be exactly as strong as can be. 2. Feldspar will be considered as the containing many fragments of kaolin or even containing section of kaolins except here. Articles of kaolin and will be considered as an effective mixture of the kaolin and feldspar. يعني يعتبر الفلدسبار فيه أجزاء كاولي أو فيه الكثير من الكاولينات. ويعتبر مزيج مؤثر للكاولين كورنيش ستون، مزيج مؤثر للكاولين والفلدسبار. يعني كورنيش ستون مزيج مؤثر يأثر طبعا للكاولين والفلدسبار، مؤثر للكاولين والفلدسبار، يؤثر للكاولين والفلدسبار. The base color will not be white exactly, but only purple and can be coexist with 3 different shades. Hard purple on the three different colors: hard purple and mild purple and dry white. يعني اللون الأساسي base color، اللون الأساسي لا يكون أبيض أرجواني ويتواجد بثلاث أشكال. Can be coexisted with three fundamental figures or 3 fundamental phases. Hard purple، اللون الأول hard purple يعني أرجواني داكن. mild purple و dry white كما ترون أمامكم. All the types will be rich of phosphorus and full of whites. Exactly. Hard will be stronger than flux, and dry white will be even brittle. As you can see, the color where the color differentiation exactly here for the flux of carnation stone is given due to inclusions of the feldspar, or due to the inclusion of the not the inclusion of the feldspar, but only the inclusion of the cornish. As your the calcium fluoride is very toxicating material, or very materials of hardness, or just say very article of hardness of CaF2. Pretty much article of hazardous can affect the health, can affect the man, or can affect, let's just say here, can affect the routine, as you're pretty much already exactly here. So the بوناش is eco-friendly، يعني صديق للبيئة البوناش. اثنين، يستخدم مع البون china، استخداماته يعني أو صفات استخداماته. The characteristic of this usage. The characteristic of the Bonash usage, as you can see, right, pretty much already exactly here. So it will be used with the bone china, and will be used for the degylation. يستخدم لإزالة الجيلاتين أو يستخدم للجيلاتين لصناعة المواد الجيلاتين، مو إزالة هنا صناعة لازم تكتبوها. It will be used to fabricate the gelatins or gelations. By using the gelations, cattle bones with steam to remove most of the organic, or even to stay, for example, to settle, or let's just say here, to sustain most of the organic matter, as you can see, for example, exactly here. Used for demoisturizations by calcination to about 900 centigrade. Which means calcination of the 900 centigrade, the H2O as well as the O2 will be sustained or will be kept. يستخدم إزالة الرطوبة. 5. يستخدم في غسل وتبليل البلورات لتنعيمها لحوالي 80 ل 10 مايكرون. It'll be used exactly, the Bonash will be used to wash as well as to moisturize the crystals to be fine to about a range of 80 less than 10 microns, or to about 80 more than 10 microns, as you can see in front of you. This is Bonash here, exactly here. The calcination of Bonash. Calcination with Bonash is a very critical, and they can be for exactly residual articles, exactly the entire articles will contribute to plasticity. يعني عملية حرجة يعمل كمية من المادة الأصلية المتبقية. And this will exactly form a very quantity of the original articles, and this article will contribute to plasticity. يعني المادة ستساهم في اللدمنة. This article will contribute, or المادة مو المادة وإنما العالقة ستساهم في اللدمنة. This special article will contribute to plasticity, as well as all over exactly here. Talc is magnesium silicate and a member of the smectite or the monomerite groups. يعني هو عبارة عن سيليكات المغنيسيوم، وهو يعني عنصر من عناصر. It's an element. Talc is an element exactly for the monomerite groups as well as the smectite groups. يعني عنصر من عناصر مجموعة السمكتايت والمونومرite. The chemical formula of the should be memorized entirely, or obligatory is going to be like 3MgO/4SiO2.H2O, just to make it referred to at the talcite formula. As a or for talcite form is indicated for exactly by the following formulation of the chemical as for the chemical reaction. As you can see, talc consists of two essential types, or two types, are cordierite as well as the enstatite. The enstatite is cordierite. Cordierite with the chemical composition of 2MgO, as well 2O3 and 5SiO2, as you can see here. This is the composition. 2MgO يعني التركيب يجب أن يحفظ، كما ترون كما قلنا في المحاضرات أو في الدروس، التركيب يجب أن يحفظ بقوة إن شاء الله تعالى. Gathering the composition of the chemical formulation is indicated right here for you. Written all over is going to be memorized strongly, or as strong as it can be, as you're pretty much here. As strong as you can memorize the entire formulation for the entire class, and we just visualize or we just demonstrate, as you can see in front of you. So, the 2MgO, or to demonstrate, only visualize. The 2MgO, 2O3, as well as 5SiO2, this composition, or the chemical formulation for the cordierite, which is pretty much considered as a sort of talc. The second source of talc from the enstatite, as you can see in front of you, is going to be exactly chemically formalized as follows: MgO by SiO2. MgO, oxide is magnesium, SiO2, oxide is silicon. 2. High temperature wears. That temperature wears for the enstatite, as you can see in front of you. The high temperature thermal expansion is indicated exactly here. 3. Calcinated up to the 1200 centigrade, as well as exactly here. The cordierite is very much excellent resistance of the thermal shock. Excellent thermal shock resistance. 4. Produce quartz, as you can see in front of you. For the cordierite advantage, that can be exactly listed as follows: no firing range, or high firing range, as well as the easily distorted or firing difficult to match with glaze. will easily be distorted with the firing or calculations, as well as difficult to be matched or difficult to be matched or difficult to be fit exactly with the glazings. يعني صعب المزاوجة أو الملائمة مع التزجيج وينكسر بسهولة بالحرق. 5 for as you can see 5 for the استسايت as indicated for the exactly here. يعني 5 نقل 5 للاستسايت تتمدد الرطوبة قليل أو تمدد الرطوبة يعني moisture expansion of the object is pretty much increased. As you all probably going to So the metallic acetite's characteristics will be exactly as follows: low shrinkage, high shrinkage, as well as high strength, مقاومة عالية ومقاومة جيدة للتصدع. Good grazing resistance, fine grazing resistance. Grazing يعني تصدع. Limestone. Limestone is the flux. This is the definition of limestone. يعني هنا limestone هو التعريف مالته هو flux، هو مساعد صهر. Is flux used in the tile. Or used, not the tile, let's just say here from used in the patio tiles. يستعمل في الآجرة الفخارية في الآجرة الفخارية tile. Hyperosity as well as gives strength, gives many sorts of strengths you can ever imagine exactly here. So as you can see here, high load resistance expansion, and the types of the limestone. Very high moisture expansion, as you can see here, and it's monument throughout the tiles. يعني مهم بشكل بارز في الآجر. Monument throughout the tiles. Limestone is used about 10-12% or 10-12 of the content of addition rise into the tiles products or into the tiles, or 10-12 as an addition by the tiles wares or by tiles wares, as you're exactly here. 2, to escalate the quantity of the gas phase by calcination. يعني زيادة كمية تطور الزجاج بالحرق. 2, lithium containing minerals. Lithium containing minerals يعني المعادن الحاوية على الليثيوم. Li2O as you can see for Li2O Ni2O as you can see for dioxide الليثيوم lithium oxide أكسيد الليثيوم يمكن أن يدخل في منتج آخر كالكربونات can be introduced in further products such as carbonates or the lithium silicate minerals. Considered as a flux يعتبر من الفلكس يعني مساعدة الصهر as well as can be considered as a melting agent. Flux alkali flux considered as an alkali flux as well as can be considered as an alkali based material or the alkali based article or clay يعني طين ذات قاعدة قلوية أو طين معتمد على طين قلوي بالأساس وتمدده and the explanation can be exactly as follows. The types of raw articles for the lithium containing minerals or the raw lumps for the lithium containing minerals, as you can see in front of the Li2O, is going to be exactly listed as follows: the petalite, as well as spodumene and lepidolite. Spodumene, lepidolite and petalite. يعني خاماته lepidolite, spodumene وبيتالite. خامات الليثيوم containing minerals أو خامات الأكسيد الليثيوم كما ترون أمامكم. The micas and illets. It's a hydromaker almost mostly can be seen in the flux. Their materials, when accurate the clay or accurate the clay, will reduce their refractoriness, or it will exactly increase their refractoriness. Fillers. مصطلح يستعمل المادة الغير بلاستيكية وهو من مقومات صناعة السيراميك وهو متوفر وكلفته هائلة. Can be considered as a terminology for the non-plastic material or the non-plastic articles, and it's a very, very essential element can be introduced or incorporated right in the ceramic manufacturing, and this is pretty much considered as plentiful as high costs. Can be considered a plentiful article or even plentiful filler. The filler can be considered as plentiful and with high costs, or with high costs. The function of the filler. وظيفة الفيلر. هنا تعريف الفيلر طبعا. هنا تعريف الفيلر. يجب أن تنتبهوا عليه. تعريف الفيلر. تنتبهوا إليه. Over the body facilitating or over the object facilitating the drying operations. تقليل الجاف الانكماش الجاف أو open up the body facilitating the drying task. يعني فتح الجسم وحشو الفيلر خلال الجسم يساعد على تسهيل عملية الحرق أو عملية التجفيف. Reducing drying shrinkage and plasticity or escalating drying shrinkage and plasticity يساعد على تكثير الانكماش واللدونة. 3. A flint of the sand also contribute to the witness of the fired objects. To the whiteness of the fired objects. يعني فلنت والساند يعني الفلنت والرمل يساعد كذلك على إكساب الأجسام المحروقة شكل أبيض أو لون أبيض. 4. Most importantly serves to control the thermal expansion of the fired objects. يعني نظيفه هو يحافظ على ابعاد المنتج. To keep the tolerance of the products, or to keep the dimensional tolerance or dimensional accuracy of the products exactly as well as the filler can be added till the oscillation of the process reaching the optimal limit and helps to reduce the shrinkage of the objects, exactly, or helps to reduce the shrinkage of the fired objects. This is to be exactly pretty much corresponding or pretty much equals to increasing or inflating the fired objects here by calcination. The particle size distribution is pretty much essential that can affect يعني particle size distribution is important effect of يعني يؤثر على particle packing أو يؤثر في particle packing يعني حزم الجزيئية أو رص الجزيئي أو رص الجسيمات رص الأجسام particle packing as well as drying and frying and shrinkage يعني شقوق تجفيف والحرق. thermal expansion التمدد الحراري. thermal expansion التمدد الحراري كما ترون أمامكم. So as you can see over here, the silica, we're just going to have to move right on here to visualize the silica. The silica is either to be combined silica or even combined is going to be electrolytic with many of further compounds, as you are pretty much all aware of, exactly here. Or to be a free additional, as you can see over here. Silica either to be free additional, just like you said, you combine with other compounds to form a whole new different compound exactly here with special characteristics or even with very unique specs, as you are pretty much exactly here. That can be used for the clay or it can be used for the flux, or it can be used over the clay or over the flux, as you can see. Flux, just like I said, it can be considered as a melting agent, or even a melting auxiliary agent or catalyst, exactly here. So in the case of the silica, is section that free additional silica, as you can see over here, exactly here. This is going to be either the sand of flint with the amount of 35 content, and the amount of 35 content, as you can see over here. يعني السilica إما تقسم إما أن تكون free additional يعني تضاف بنسب أو تكون متآصرة يعني combined أو تكون يعني متآصرة مع مركبات ثانية. Either to be combined with further compounds to form a wholly different compounds or even a wholly different form of compounds that can carry special characteristics or even that can offer particular specs that can serve as, or even just not serve exactly here, that can exactly be applicable in certain domain or a certain field exactly for any engineering field you can ever come across exactly associated to the ceramics utilization, as you can see right here. يعني تكون كومبايند متآصرة كالشكل التالي. As the chemical formula pretty much indicates. Al2O3, SiO2, NH2O. Al2O3, SiO2, and H2O. So as you can see, the SiO2 is the silica, as well as Al2O3 is going to be like the alumina, as well as NH2O is going to be like the ammonia in this case. So as you can see, for the three-sectional chemical combination and chemical combination, as you can see, for the right, exactly illustrated by the Al2O3, which is the alumina, or the, let's just say, the gibbsite layer. In case you're talking about the layers of clay that can pretty much used or pretty much applicable to be used exactly here throughout the ceramic manufacturing, as you're pretty much exactly here. So the SiO2 is going to be considered as a silica combined with the Al2O3, which could be like a gibbsite layer, or even let's just say here the alumina, all that simple, as well as combined with the NH2O compound, as you can see here, the H2O compound. And the combined sort of silica either can be used exactly in the clay or above the clay, or even either to be used in flux, or even to be used above the flux, as you can see, as a helping, or even as a helping agent for melting, auxiliary agent or catalyst for melting, as you can see, or can be used exactly as a combined regular clay. Combined clay. First, earthenware object contains silica between 72 to 76. منتجات أرضية تحتوي السيليكا بنسبة 72 إلى 76. Earthen products or even earthenwares is of silica content of 72 to 76. Silica possess high hardness, or the silica have high hardness. يعني السيليكا تمتلك صلابة عالية. هنا خصائص مو خصائص وإنما المواقع أو المحال الهندسية السيراميكية التي تستخدم فيها السيليكا. As you can see, the suitable accommodation at which the silica or through which the silica is being used, as you are pretty much all aware of. The silica content or the additive silica contains 30 to 35 will be the additive of the Al, not other than the sand flint, as you can see, sand and flint. يعني نسبة السيليكا المضافة 30 إلى 35 تكون إضافة من الساند والفلنت وتكون إضافة من الأيال وليس من الساند والفلنت. This is third. Fourth, thermal expansion and craziness resistance of the object depend on the free silica content of the body or of the object, as you are pretty much or aware of, just like we said in the beginning, or even just like we said in the formal lectures that we just visualized already, or that we have visualized already. HUDMUD has much greater thermal expansion than the combined silica. يعني thermal expansion and craziness resistance، يعني مقاومة التصدع ومعامل التمدد الحراري للجسم السيليكي أو للقطعة السيليكية تعتمد على تكوين depends on the composition of the free silica, or depends on the content of the free silica added exactly here. Content, as we said exactly here, of the object. The object is either just like we said here, the object either can be combined from the free silica, or even combined of combined silica, or composed of combined silica exactly here. The object, or the where, the active visualizing right now, as you can see, or the pretty much all of exactly here. So the where either can be exact composed of the combined silica or composed from the free silica. In case of the object of free silica, the thermal expansion as well as the craziness resistance will be pretty much enhanced. In case of the free silica is pretty much introduced, or in the case of the free silica is pretty much considered major constituents, or let's just say here the major article expressed right above the body, or right above exactly the object that we're actually dealing with exactly here. In case of the object and has much greater thermal expansion, in case of free silica introduced right exactly into the body, or if the body of the free silica content exactly here having or will possess much greater thermal expansion coefficient rates exactly than the combined silica. يعني سيمتلك معامل تمدد حراري أكثر من السيليكا المركبة. وظيفة السيليكا Silica function, as we see. Increase dry strength. Increase plasticity, as you can see for me, as a facility of drying, so with التجفيف and decrease of drying shrinkage. كما ترون أمامكم. Four characteristics pretty much customize the silica function of the function of the other plate, or the part of the plates that we just had, or that we have already visualized exactly here. As you'll pretty much currently, we are visualizing the function of silica. We're just going to move right on exactly here to the flint. Flint. It's a clay. Flint is a clay matter of formation relative to sponge-like organism. When dissolves in the water and later deposits in chalky shaped composition. Exactly here. يعني يتكون بشكل محتوى على فقاعات. Will be formed of bubble content exactly here with a sponge-like shaped organism shapes exactly here. When it dissolves with water, where the flint is dissolved with water and will leave or will exactly deposit a chalk-like formation. سوف يتركب بشكل طباشيري أو سيترك مركب بشكل طباشيري. Will leave or will result in a very chalk-like composition. The flint contains يعني مكونات الفلنت أو الفلنت يحتوي quantities of water كميات من الماء, minute air spaces فراغات هوائية, or let's just say air spaces only, or spacings, and amorphous silica سيليكا غير بلورية أو سليمة بلورية. A preparation of the flint. Now كلها تحفظ. They are all should be memorized exactly and should be strongly and profoundly memorized. As you can see from the thing I'm referring right now exactly here. This is the definition of the flint, and this is the contains of the flint, or the constituents of flint, as you are pretty much all aware of exactly here. Now we just have to move right on exactly to the first article of the flint associated with the flint topic that we're actually visualizing right now. As you can see from just associated to the preparation of the flint. The preparation of flint. يعني تحضير الفلنت. Flint pebbles from the seashore. يعني حصل الفلنت من شاطئ البحر. حصل الفلنت من شاطئ البحر. Calcined to temperature of about 1100 centigrade. يعني تكلسن أو تحرق بدرجة حرارة 1100 centigrade. The third step of the task that we're actually performing exactly here to prepare flint exactly here, as you can see in front of you. So the third step is going to be exactly visualizing the heat treatment is mainly to make the flint friable. يعني معامل حرارية تكون أساسية لتجعل الفلنت قابل للاحتراق. معامل حرارية تجعل الفلنت قابل للاحتراق. The heat treatment will be exactly pivotal to make the flint pretty much friable, as you can see in front of you. So the silica sand يعني الرمل السيليكي. crystallite and tridymite. هش وقلق. Tridymite is going to be like a fragile and dissolvable or insolvable exactly, or it's just dissolvable and fragile at the same time. And this is to be considered as the silica phases. Crystallite, just like we said in the beginning or in commencement to the first lecture of the ceramics, or the first lecture associated to the ceramics manufacture of the ceramics clays. Just like we said, the crystallite is going to be exactly as the phase of silica or silica sand. as well as the turbines is going to be phase 2 of the silica is going to be also is going to be also fragile and characterized by solubility, or characterized by the high solubility rates, exactly, or high tendency of solubility rates, as you're pretty much all exactly here. High tendency of solubility. High tendency of solubility يعني تودومايت يميل إلى أن يكون قلق، يعني يميل عنده ميلان للذوبان أو التفكك أو dissociation. Characteristics between flint and sand. الخصائص والمواصفات بين الفلنت والساند. Grinding become more expensive since calcined flint is much more friable than the sand. طحن السيليكا يكون غالي أكثر لأن الفلنت يكون أغلى أو يكون أكثر قابلية للحرق من الرمل. الفلنت grinding طحن السيليكا أو milling. Crazing resistance مقاومة التصدع in the object due to the fact. يعني crazing بالفلنت تحدث بسرعة لكن في السيليكا تتأخر. The crazing throughout the flames is majorly and substantially occurs rapidly, but the silica will be delayed. This crazing resistance will be pretty much delayed. يعني في السيليكا سوف تتأخر. كلما أزيد النعومة أزيدت اللدونة. More finer flint will get and more plasticity the flint will possess. As you can see over here. The more plasticity the flint will possess, as you can see over here. And the flint is better than the sand. والفلنت أفضل من الساند. هنا خصائص لفلنت وفرقها عن الساند. The characteristic for the customizing characteristic for the flint and the differentiation of the sand. As you can see over here. 3. Replacing flint with amount of sand. يعني استبدال الفلنت مع كمية من الرمل. Grinding the sand finer than the finance. يعني طحن الرمل إلى نعومة أكثر. Grinding the sand to much more substantial finance, exactly, or much more greater finance. طحن الرمل إلى نعومة أكثر. Advantages. الفوائد. Thermal expansion of the silica. High thermal expansion than the silica, as you can see over here. As well as high fire strength than the silica. مقاومة حرق عالية. High fire strength than the silica. يعني أكثر مقاومة حرق عالية أكثر من السيليكا. أو بقدر السيليكا. High fire strength as much as silica, or as much as silica would do. High mechanical strength. مقاومة ميكانيكية عالية. Disadvantages of the flint, or advantages of the flint, as you can see in front of you. Very heavy, as well as high specific gravity. جاذبية محددة عالية أو وزن نوعي عالي. وزن نوعي فائق، مو فائق وإنما عالي. Very expensive، غالي جدا الفلنت. Iron bearing impurities or iron bearing inclusions, as well as unacceptable colors. As you can see in front of you. يعني ألوان تكون به ألوان للمتضمنات، وكذلك يكون فيه تواجد للحديد أو مو تواجد للحديد، كي يكون فيه مو تواجد للحديد وإنما يكون فيه حديد، يكون فيه حديد، متضمنات حديد. The advantages. There be exactly the very content of iron, let's say iron lumps, or even let's just say not lumps but only iron articles to be included wide exactly throughout the flint composition, or let's say by the flint composition, or the flint composition. هنا الفلكس لازم تنتبهون عليه إن شاء الله. الفلكس هنا مهمة جدا، تقسيم الفلكس إلى الوايت وير وإلى الألكلي. يعني استخدامات الفلكس في الالكلي واستخدامات الفلكس في الوايت وير. Here flux will be exactly typified in terms of using exactly to an alkali usage as well as to be used in the white wares body or in white wares articles such as the sanitary wares or even body wares, as well as the clay wares or the clay articles that are actually manufactured by using the ceramic clays and to be fried under certain temperatures exactly, and then to be left to dry, or even left to dry exactly here to be finalized, to have finalized productivity exactly here to be marketed into the consumer, right to the consumers. As you can see here, so the flux is going to be in the alkali. The flux is going to be exactly an article that can diminish or that can exactly increase the heat of fusion when be added to the mixture or the articles. يعني ما تكثر درجة حرارة الانجماد، تكثر مو تقلل، تكثر درجة حرارة الانجماد أو ترفع درجة حرارة الانجماد. Substance exactly, or the flux can be exactly a substance that can arise or that can elevate the heat of fusion exactly here when be added. When it's added exactly to the mixture or any article you can ever come across, such as the alkali article or the white wares. White wares is going to be more plentiful where the flux is plentiful introduced to. Alkali flux يحتوي على نسبة من القلويات والقلويات الأرضية. The flux contains the alkali as well as the earth alkali, as well as the alkali excess flux increase the melting points. يعني زيادة القلويات في الفلكس تزيد من الصهر أو تزيد من قابلية الصهر. Increase meltability exactly here. The excess of the alkali or the throughout the flux is increasing the meltability. يعني تزيد من قابلية الصهر. White wares يعني استخدام الفلكس في الوايت wares. White wares. The flux required to be used is less glass transition temperature, glass transition phase through or by concentration to get the strength and translucency. يعني تحتاج الفلكس حتى توجد أقل عمل طور زجاجي. تحتاج فلكس حتى توجد أقل عمل طور زجاجي. Flux, in order to be very less of content throughout the white layers, exactly here, a glass transition phase will be made throughout the calcination or by calcination to get a very strength and translucency. The usage of flux or even the utilization of flux استخدام الفلكس يمكن إنتاج تحفيات articles يمكن be couplesmiths or even just here smithes as well as articles or porcelain by calcinating them يعني عن طريق حرقها وذلك بحرقها by calcinating them as you can see in front as you all pretty much all the way off exactly here. This is the characteristic customizations exactly as we just demonstrate exactly associated to the flux or the melting agents يعني الأنواع المساعدة للصهر. The sorts of melting agents which are mainly called or denoted as flux. أربع خواص للفلكس. For customizing characteristics of the flux as you can see in front of you. The features of flux are as follows, or can be listed as follows exactly here. 4 features of the flux can be listed as well as visualized as follows. The flux should contain high alkali, should be of high alkali content. يعني يجب أن يحتوي alkali هائل الكمية. يجب أن يحتوي على alkali هائل عالي. مو هائل الكمية وإنما عالي. حجي كمية والله. Contains many of them FeO3 Fe2O3 as you can see here. Contains much of Fe2O3 يحتوي على أكسيد الحديد. Contains the iron oxide as you can see in the form of Fe2O3 hematite. حجم جسيمات الفلكس مهم. The particle size of flux is significant. Increase the fineness, increase the effect of flux. زيادة نعومتها تزيد تأثير الفلكس أو زيادة خشونتها. Coarseness excess of the particle size of the flux is pretty much significant and it can increase the effect of the flux. تزيد تأثير الفلكس. 4. يطحن الفلكس إلى نعومة ثابتة. The flux can be grinded exactly to a very constant fineness. يطحن الفلكس إلى نعومة ثابتة. عمل الفلكس, the action of the flux, or even the activity of the flux. The effect of flux when the body is calcinated, or even when the articles calcinated, the flux will be moisturized. The particles of the high heat materials, or the high temperature point articles. يعني عند حرق الجسم فإن الفلكس يرطب الجسيمات الثانية. Will moisturize, or will wet the further particles or the further articles exactly for the high temperature or high melting point temperature articles. يعني للقطع العالية الحرارة يعني عالية درجة الحرارة أو عالية ذات درجات الصهار هائلة. With the calcination continuity يعني باستمرار الحرق التبلل السطحي بالطور السائل the surface wet of the liquid phase will form as surface tension forces that can withdraw or that can perform tension to the heat resistive articles altogether. يعني باستمرار الحرق التبلل السطحي بالطور السائل the surface wet or the surface moisturization of by the liquid phase will form a surface tension forces that can tensify the entire articles that are denoted mainly as they are heat resistant articles altogether. يعني تكون قوة شط سطحي تسحب المواد أو تسحب القطع المقاومة للحرارة معا. Attracts the entire articles altogether. The articles are described, or even the articles are denoted as they are heat-resistive articles. Exactly, they will be exactly tensified altogether, or will be exactly packed altogether, exactly by the flux. By two mechanisms, by the continuity of frying, or by the continuity of calcination, يعني باستمرار الحرق, as well as by the surface wet by the liquid phase. عن طريق التبلل السطحي بالطور السائل. The cavities will be shrinked by the size shrinkage. يعني cavities will be exactly increased by the size shrinkage. يعني فراغات الفجوات سوف تقل أو سوف تزداد بانكماش الحجم. 4 أو مو بانكماش الحجم وإنما بزيادة الحجم. سوف تقل بزيادة الحجم سوف تزداد بزيادة الحجم. مو تقل هنا سوف تزداد. The cavities will increase by the increase or by the excess of volume or volumetric bulk. يعني بزيادة الحجم volumetric bulk. 4 زجاج سيكون تركيبه مختلف. The gas will possess a very different composition of the flux of the original flux due to interactions with the further constituents of the object such as quartz and kaolins. الزجاج سيكون تركيبه مختلف عن الفلكس الأصلي لتفاعله due to interactions with the further object constituents or with further constituents of the body. يعني تفاعله مع مكونات الجسم الأخرى أو مع مكونات أو the further constituents of the article مع مكونات القطعة الأخرى مثل الكوارتز والكاولين سيكون تركيبه مختلف. سيختلف تركيبه نتيجة للسبب الذي قلناه. As for the reason just said. 5. By temperize by the temperature rise of the furnace, the glass mold will be stiff or will be set exactly here, and the entire articles as well as the crystals will be attached all together and will be binded all together will be bounded all together. يعني ترتبط الجسيمات والبلورات مع بعضها. بارتفاع درجة حرارة الفرن قالب الزجاجية تتصلب وترتبط الجسيمات والبلورات. مسامية الجسم تعتمد على مقدار وطبيعة الفلكس. The property of the articles pretty much dependent to the magnitude as well the amount and the nature of flux and the calcination conditions. وظروف الاحتراق. 7. 6. This is the 6th point of the article principle of action as your or the flux principle of action as your or the flux article principle of action as you can see in front. So 7. Overformation of the glass will be exactly implemented by calcination. تكون زجاج كمية هائلة من الزجاج بالاحتراق. 8. درجات حرارة الاحتراق يجب أن تسبب بتغيرات شديدة بالزجاج المتكون. The temperature of calcination should not cause intensive variations by the formed glass or through the formed glass. خطوات عمل الفلكس كما قلنا. حجم جسيمات الفلكس مهم. The size of the flux particles are is pretty much significant or essential. Increasing the fineness of the or even increasing the coarseness of the object exactly will increase the effect of the flux. The flux will be mild or exactly the flux will be milled or even grinded into very constant fineness. إلى نعومة ثابتة جدا. فلدسبار. تقسيم الفلدسبار تعريفه وأنواعه كما ترون أمامكم. فلدسبار تعريف الفلدسبار هو أشهر أنواع الفلكس. Which is the most notorious types of flux and the most plentiful. يعني وأكثرها وفرة. يحتوي الحديد exactly has or possess a content of iron as you can see to a certain extent يعني إلى مدى معين أو إذا مو مدى معين يحتوي حديد مو إلى مدى معين هنا ما مذكور بس يحتوي الحديد فقط. possesses a range of iron content غير مذاب في الماء insoluble in the water. أنواع calcium أو barium silicium أو barium. BaO as you can see in front of you, Al2 will be combined with further compounds as you can see in front of you in the form of the Al2O3 as well as 2SiO2 on the BaO oxide barium as you can see in front of you right here in front of you. So 2 the potash feldspar النوع الثاني potash feldspar as you can see in front of you. K with the cation Al and the anti Si3 as you can see in front of you associated by bonding right into the 8 atoms of oxygen. Associated by bonding into 8 atoms of oxygen as you can see in front. يعني مرتبط بذرات الأو8 أو الأكسجين 8. K بوتاسيوم مع أو تسمى بوتاش في الدسبار. بوتاش من يعني بوتاسيوم. مرتبط بكاتيوم Al وأنيون هو SiO3 as you can see in front. As well as the fourth type or the third types of the feldspar as you can see in front is going to be denoted as a soda feldspar. Soda denoting the Na or the soda is named after the Na. يعني الصودا سميت after the Na يعني سميت على اسم ال Na الصوديوم. Na is exactly where the two cations of Al as well as the two cations of Al as well as the anion of Si3 is indicated word for 3 atoms of the silicon as well as 1 atom of aluminium is indicated word for or 2 atoms of aluminium according to the silica content or the silica introduction as you can see in front. Also associated by bonding to 8 atoms of oxygen as you can see in front by the O8. يعني مرتبط بثمان ذرات أكسجين كذلك. 3 أو 4 Lim feldspar. Lim feldspar is denoted the Sa or the Ca, the calcium. feldspar lim يعني feldspar جيري أو مو جيري لا lim. اللم هو feldspar الكالسيومي. feldspar ذات الكالسيوم. feldspar is going to be like the feldspar content of the calcium or the high content or high feldspar or high calcium feldspar exactly. It could be denoted the high calcium feldspar in this case. Which could be exactly of the following content or the following compositions. The following compositions are denoted the following formula. As you can see, the Ca is associated by each of the cations of the Al2 as well as the anion of the Si3 is associated by bonding right to the 8 atoms of oxygen as indicated by the O8. As you can see, this is all about the feldspar. إذا potash والصودا هنا توضيح عن البوتاش والصودا. This is going to be a disambiguation for the soda and potash. Potash contains soda in addition to 15th content of the quartz. يعني بوتاش يحتوي على صودا وبالإضافة إلى 15 محتوى 15 كوارتز كما ترون أمامكم. نسبة الصودا للبوتاش soda to potash ratio will be high. It's used in the glass, or the first part will be used exactly, or even the potash will be used above the glass, or will be used above the glass to manufacture the glass. يستعمل في صناعة أو يستعمل على صناعة الزجاج. Will be used above the manufacture of the glass, as you can see in front of you. In case of the first part having a very high soda to potash ratio, or in case of the potash having a very high soda to potash ratio, as we're pretty much all aware of exactly here. High soda will gives high verification, تزجيج أكثر, more prone. ويكون أكثر عرضة. More prone and high rate of verifications, as you can see, or even ultra rate of vitrification. Ultra rate of vitrification, تزجيج أكثر. تصنيع السيراميك. The manufacturing of ceramic, as you can see. The slip casting. الصب الانزلاقي. يستخدم لإنتاج منتوجات المجوفة والصليبة. Used to be the use of slip casting method is pretty much used mainly and basically to yield products hollow as well as solid products. Solid wares. Used to produce hollow and solid wares. يعني يستخدم لإنتاج منتوجات المجوفة والصليبة. Concentrated suspension of the body slip is poured into the porous plaster of Paris mold to fusible shape. تركيز عالق من جسم السليب يصب في قالب البورق أو يصب في قالب جبس باريس ذو شكل مناسب. The concentration of the body suspension, or the suspension of the article of the slip exactly, is poured into a plaster of Paris mold with a suitable shape. يعني ذو شكل مناسب. The excess slip will be thrown outside the mold or out of the mold, exactly where the required thickness is going to be exactly formed or due to the resulting precipitation or the resulting deposition of the water adsorption by the mold. يعني السلب الزائد يرمى إلى خارج القالب بحيث يتكون السمك المطلوب نتيجة where the required thickness will be formed as a result of the resulting deposition نتيجة الترسيب الناتج من امتزاز الماء from the water adsorption from the water adsorption or due to the absorption of water من امتزاز الماء بواسطة القالب by the mold. After draining of the excess liquid, the cast will be left to be partially dried exactly here and will be separated from the mold, and then afterwards will be separated from the mold. يعني بعد سكب السائل الزائد إلى الخارج the cast is allowed to partially dry يعني لتجف جزئيا وتنكمش أو وتنفصل مو تنكمش وتنفصل من القالب and to be separated from the mold. عندما ينتهي التجفيف when the dry is over or the dry is concluded the produced cast will possess adequate surface shrinkage exactly to be removed safely from the mold. يعني فإن السبكة المسبوكة ستمتلك متانة كافية لكي تزال بأمان من القالب أو لكي تنفصل بأمان من القالب in order to be safely separated from the mold or to be safely removed from the mold. بعد أن يزال القالب يعني هنا خطوات نقولها خطوات مال عمل الصب الانزلاقي. We're actually mentioning or visualizing the steps of the slip casting methodology. بعد أن يزال القالب تستمر عملية التجفيف. After the removal of the mold, exactly here, the drying will be continued before the edges are يعني قبل أن تقشط الحواف before the edges are just before the edges are abrased, before fitting of edges, before offsets of the image edges exactly here, and any surface blemished using a fitting knife or a dump sponge. يعني when تؤدب باستخدام سكينة قاشطة by using abrasive knives or even let's say by using a very fitting knife or a dump sponge or even a wet sponge اسفنجة مبللة. فوائد السليب كاستنج أو الصب الانزلاقي. The advantages of the slip casting as you can see here. كلها يجب أن تحفظ. Advantages of slip casting. We can produce high intricate figures when possible to be made by the following methods, and this thing can be implemented by making the molds of multiple threads of multiple sections. by making the mold of multiple sections or consist of multiple sections. As well as simple figures can be also formed. يعني يمكن إنتاج أشكال شديدة التعقيد ومن المستحيل عملها بالطرق الأخرى بواسطة السليب كاستنج أو بواسطة الصب الانزلاقي by using the methodology or by using the techniques of the slip casting. And this thing can be implemented by making the mold consist of multiple blades or multiple sections. يعني عن طريق جعل القالب يتكون من عدة قطع أو عدة قطاعات وكذلك يعمل أشكال بسيطة. As well as simple figures or let's say simple arcos can be also made or can be also formed. يمكن أن تنتج تفاصيل ناعمة جدا. This can come up with a very fine details. This method can exactly come with a very high. It can come up with a very high details or very high ultra fine details, as you are pretty much all over here. This is the advantage of slip casting is schizophrenia. Time consuming method. يعني طريقة تستهلك الوقت. تستعمل وقت. A plaster mold must be able to absorb water from the slip they require to drying. يعني قالب الورق يجب أن يكون قادر على امتزاز الماء. The border molds or even the plaster Paris molds should be exactly able to absorb water from the slip, so the water then will require a drying or require further drying techniques. يعني فإن القالب إذن سيحتاج تجفيف أو سيتطلب تجفيف ويجب تبديله بين الحين والآخر and should be replaced from now and then as a result for a deterioration or as a result for usage. يعني نتيجة للاستخدام يجب تبديله بين الحين والآخر نتيجة للاستخدام. As a result for usage, for further usage, or even overwhelming usage. Notes on slip casting, or notes of slip casting. يعني ملاحظات عن slip casting. The slip is necessary to have high specific gravity. The slip casting is a very liquid of suspension of the clay or not plastic or even both in the water, by the water exactly here, to gain slip casting or balance slip casting and rapid at the same time. So it's necessary to have a high specific density. It's necessary to acquire high specific density. يعني من الضروري الحصول على كثافة نوعية عالية. للسليب كاستنج يستخدم سائل عالق من طين أو بلاستيك. أو كلاهما في الماء. أو كلاهما عبر الماء. أو both exactly here by the water أو بالقرب من الماء. للحصول على سليب كاستنج متوازن وسريع. To acquire a very balanced and quick slip casting exactly here. This is very much necessary to gain or acquire a very high specific density. يعني يجب من الضروري الحصول على كثافة نوعية عالية أو high. The types of deflocculants. أنواع المفككات. أو تأتي اشرح يعني اشرح أنواع أو اشرح المفككات. Mixture of the sodium salts which comprising the sodium carbonate as well as the sodium silicates. يعني mixture of sodium salts يعني مزيج من أملاح الصوديوم and includes sodium carbonates وتتضمن كربونات الصوديوم دايسبكس اللي هي سيليكات الصوديوم sodium or ammonium polyacrylate sodium or ammonium polyacrylate يعني أكريلات متعدد الصوديوم والأمونيوم اللي يسمى بالدايسبكس مثلا يجي تعريف الدايسبكس يعتبر من المفككات. Dyspecs can be considered as a type of deflocculants that can be exactly characterized by the high lactic composition of the sodium or the ammonium polyacrylate, as you can see. Industrially, the most used deflocculants يعني أكثر المفككات استخداما the most used or the deflocculants of the most usage يعني أكثر المفككات استخداما هي مزيج من سيليكات الصوديوم is a mixture of the sodium silicate as well as the sodium carbonate as well يعني هي مزيج من سيليكات الصوديوم وكربونات الصوديوم. إذن أكثر أنواع المفككات استخداما. The most used type of deflocculants are the mixture of the sodium silicate as well as the sodium carbonates يعني mixture يعني مزيج من سيليكات الصوديوم وكربونات الصوديوم. Synthetic polymers يعني بوليمرات صناعية مثل polyacrylate كذلك هي تعتبر اللي هي دايسبكس تعتبر الدايسبكس هي صوديوم وأمونيوم polyacrylate صوديوم وأمونيوم وبوليأكريلات اللي تعتبر من المفككات الصناعية الجيدة which is going to be considered as an industrial expensive very excellent high ultra usage deflocculants exactly which is more expensive وهي أكثر غلاء البوليأكريلات. 3. Other deflocculants or deflocculants such as the tonnets as well as the humides as well as the Lignin and the polyacrylates or the polyphosphates are the further deflucants or further types of deflucants in case we are pretty much you want it to be introduced to. يعني انواع المفككات الثانيه هي مثلا تونيتس والهيومانيتس والليجنينز derivatives of the sulfonic acids ومشتقات حامض السلفونيك او السلفيك امونيا and polyphosphates يعني متعدد الفوسفات والامونيا كذلك انواع المفككات الثانيه. The mechanism of casting ميكانيكية slip casting هنا حفظ mechanism يجب أن تحفظ بقوة. The mechanism should be memorized, should be strongly memorized exactly here. This is pretty much essential. This is topic we're about to go through right now exactly is pretty much of maximum essentiality. يعني الموضوع الذي سنتحدث عنه الآن هو موضوع ذات أهمية قصوى maximum essentiality as well as to be thoroughly studied. يعني يجب أن يدرس بعناية. The borders of the plaster plaster mold exactly is the articles or are the articles that withdraw the water from the slip or it can exactly draw the water from the slip by the capillary action. يعني بوصل المسامات او فتحات البورق هي اللي تسحب الماء من السلب. The orifice of the orifice of the plaster gypsum exactly here that can withdraw the water from the slip by using the capillary action. Thus, the water content of the slip will be slip adjacent to the gypsum plaster that we're actually using exactly here as a liquid, or that we're actually using exactly here to form the slip casting exactly here will be increased till a rigid layer of the object will be formed. Will have increased thickness exactly slowly while the water is moving throughout the casting layer. يعني إلى أن تتكون طبقة صلب الجسم till a rigid layer of the object will be formed. Or rigid layer of the قطعة يعني rigid layer of the object or again rigid layer of the article will be formed exactly here with increasable thickness slowly while the water is moving through the casting layer. Built up which slowly thickness as the water moves يعني بينما يتحرك الماء أو خلال تحرك الماء خلال طبقات الشباكة as water moves through the casting layer or the cast layer. معدل بناء الطبقة the built-up rate of the rigid layer is increasing with time or is pretty much dependent on time progress يعني يزداد مع الوقت أو يزداد or is increasing with time لأن البورق or gyps bodies because the Paris gypsum that we're actually using exactly here will absorb the water by capillary tube or by capillary action يعني أن الجيبس bodies يمتص الماء بالخاصية الشعرية الماء وبنفس الوقت الطبقة the water will be exactly introduced as well as the same time the layer of the increasable thickness will have their permeability increased will have its permeability increased يعني الطبقة التي تزداد نفاذيتها. Rate of the layer formation or the rate of the layer built up falls exactly here or exactly direct proportion with the square rate of time. يعني تناسب معدل تكون الطبقة the built up rate of the layer is increasing or directly proportional with the square rate of the time. Square rate or square time يتناسب مع مربع الوقت. مثال إذا الطبقة تكون سمكها من 0.2 إنش in case we have the rigid layer of the thickness of 0.2 inch exactly here in 3 minutes will be 0.3 inches in 9 minutes exactly here. يعني تتكون سمكها في 3 دقائق تصبح 0.2 إنش أو 0.3 إنش ب9 دقائق. المتطلبات the requirements of the slip casting high solid concentration تركيز صلب عالي بذلك نتجنب الحاجة إلى البورق. Thus we can avoid needing or even the requirement of the gypsum plaster will be pretty much uncalled for. Avoiding need for the plaster mold to extract much quantity of water drawn throughout the casting technicalities. This pretty much going to be leads to rapid saturation of the molds تشبع سريع للقالب as well as frequent drying تجفيف متكرر. Slip should be fluid enough يعني يجب أن يكون سائل الصب ذات سيولة كافية لسببين. The slip fluid should have or should possess very adequate fluidity exactly for two main reasons لسببين رئيسيين أو مو رئيسيين for 2 reasons only for 2 reasons easily handled or for ease of handling as well as readily take up the shape of the mold. يعني يأخذ شكل القالب. وكذلك سهولة المناولة. لسهولة المناولة انتبهوا زين. Pay attention exactly for this following two reasons we're about to mention right now, or we just mentioned exactly here. For the ease of handling, يعني سهولة المناولة, as well as readily take up the shape of the mold. يأخذ شكل القالب بشكل سريع. Really. A slip of high fluidity tends to trap air bubbles exactly here, which exactly displayed as pinholes. السليب سيولتها تميل الاحتجاز or to confine air bubbles exactly, which they are mainly displayed in the form of pinholes. يعني التي يمكن أن تعرض أو يمكن أن تبدو كأنها pinholes. Some of tend to trap or they tend to confine the air bubbles exactly, which are mainly displayed after or mainly displayed in the form of pinholes. as you can see هنا. يعني تظهر على شكل نقر. Thixotropic character or the thixotropic character of the slip should be controlled within acceptable limits. يعني السيطرة في خاصية الثيكسوتروبيك أو السيطرة في مو خاصية وإنما السيطرة في جانب الثيكسوتروبيك. الثيكسوتروبيك تعريف مهم جدا. ثيكسوتروبي اللي هي تسييل القوام للمسبوكة, which is going to be considered as the thixotropy of cast. The fluidization of cast. Fluidization of the cast. Fluidization يعني تسييل. Fluidization of cast يعني تسييل المسبوكة أو تسييل قوام المسبوكة. The physicality of the thixotropy is pretty much desirable. يعني طبيعة physicality or the naturality of the thixotropy is pretty much desirable. ستكون مرغوبة جدا لأنها تزيد من معدل الكاستنج because it can increase the rate of the casting, and the increment of the rate of casting will cause a slip casting mistakes or will cause a slip casting glitch. Exactly. The parameter used for industrial control of casting slip. العوامل المستخدمة في السيطرة الصناعية على السليب casting. Fluidity التسييل أو السيولة. 2. This is the first reason, or the first factor is to control the slip casting industrially. To control the slip casting industrially. يعني السيطرة على السليب كاستنج أو الصب الانزلاقي صناعيا. Fluidity السيولة. كذلك thixotropy تسييل القوام. 3. specific gravity الثقل أو الوزن النوعي. الطريقة الثانية هي البلاستيك شيبينج التشكيل اللدن. It's the old method here to form the ceramic articles exactly for the formation or used for the formation of the for the aim of formation of the ceramic articles such as the pots or the tiles يعني مثل القدور والكاشيات, والآن التحف تصنع بالعجلة الدوارة. Now the articles are mainly made by the rotary wheel or thrown. Or the articles or the product articles is pretty much thrown to a rotary wheel يعني تصنع بالعجلة الدوارة أو ترمى بالعجلة الدوارة. ترمى على العجلة الدوارة أو مو ترمى على العجلة الدوارة, تصنع بالعجلة الدوارة, تصنع عن طريق العجلة الدوارة. The methods we just mentioned exactly here is plasticity are mainly plasticity dependent methods. يعني الطرق تعتمد على اللدونة أو قابلية التشغيل or the machinability by the clay composition mixed with water. Admixed with water. يعني بواسطة أو قابلية التشغيل بواسطة مركب الطين, workability or machinability by the clay component with mixing with water. While mixing with water يعني منزوج مع الماء. The article should be formed without fracture or even with fracture exactly here to form the article. الجسم يجب أن يشوه أو يجب أن ينظم عن طريق الكسر لتكوين القطعة. The object should be formed exactly here to a uniform shape in order to fracture the article inside the article inside the article. Let's just denote the fracture as the fracture for the entire article or sections exactly here to form the article. And must retain the shaped when the force used for shaping is removed, and should be retained to the formal shapes exactly here when the effective force is removed. Of the shaping force, effective shaping force is pretty much mainly removed. معظم أجسام الوايت وير تتطلب نسبة المحاسن. معظم أجسام المحاسن هنا المحاسن وهنا العيوب. The efforts are the relatively quick method or relatively rapid methods of formation. طريقة سريعة نسبيا للتصنيع. يمكن أن تصنع أوتوماتيكيا بسهولة. Can be easily be automatic. can easily be automatic. يعني يمكن أن تصبح أوتوماتيكية بسهولة ومؤتمتة. Most of the WireWorks articles are pretty much requiring a wire content of 18 to 22, as you can see in front, to gain the workability or optimal workability after the machining. This water should be removed by drying. يعني أجسام الوايرز أنت تتطلب نسبة ماء 18 ل 22 للحصول على قابلية تشغيل مثالية. بعد التشغيل يجب أن يزال الماء بالتجفيف. أو يجب أن يبقى الماء، مو يزال الماء، مو يزال وإنما يبقى الماء بالتميم. After machining, the water should be kept exactly here, put on by using the hydration methods or by using the hydration technicality. يعني بعد التشغيل مو إزالة الماء، يجب أن يبقى الماء نستخدمه للأغراض الثانية. يجب أن يبقى هنا إزالة مسحوبة، إزالة مسحوبة. After machining or after the workability exactly here, the water should be kept put on exactly here throughout the article for further aims by hydration or by hydration technicalities exactly. The plasticity cannot be accurately controlled or can be accurately controlled by the manufacturer. This method is capable of only producing or of only yielding a very relatively simple shapes exactly here, such as plates, glasses, or even plates, pots, and simple shaped dishes. يعني مثل الصفائح والباتس، مو الأقداح. هنا مو الأقداح، الأقداح تنصنع بالسليب كاستنج قلنا. هنا تنصنع القدور، الصفائح والقدور والصحون البسيطة and the simple dishes. Hand throwing or making. طريقة ليس صناعية. The method is pretty much intrinsically or extrinsically, or let's just say intrinsically not industrial, pretty much industrial. Used by the craft. تستخدم من قبل العامل الحرفي أو صاحب المهنة or studio potter exactly here by throwing plastic clay on the potter wheel or to the potter's wheel. يعني برمي الطين اللدن plastic clay to the potter craft wheel exactly here. في عجلة التصنيع. Can produce ware of high quantities. يعني يمكن إنتاج منتجات ذات جودة عالية أو high qualities. This method used high skill and experience. الطريقة تحتاج خبرة أو تتطلب خبرة أو مهارة عالية. High skill as well as high knowing of manufacturing or high knowing of craftness. يعني تتطلب مهارة عالية ومعرفة عالية ومعرفة هائلة بالتصنيع. Reproducibility exactly usually can be exactly enhanced. إعادة إنتاج سهلة جدا. soft mud brick يعني الطابوق المصنع الطابوق المصنع الأملس. طابوق المصنع بالطين الأملس أو طابوق مصنع عن طريق الطين على الطين الأملس. As you can see from this exactly is going to be like the soft mud brick topic to go through. Soft mud brick as you can see from يعني الطابوق المصنع أو الطابوق الذي يصنع الطين الأملس أو الطين الطري. The clay and water is introduced into a soft pug mill which continuously forces this exactly into a die chamber where a plunger forces this up through a multiple die into the wooden 5-port or the wooden 5-compartment brick mold indexed right above it. What about this? The mold moves along, it turns over exactly here, and the brick are occupied, the brick exactly will be dried by a pellet for transfer to the dryer, or for transfer above the dryer. The mold is washed dust with dry sand and returned to complete the cycle. About 30,000 bricks, or 30K bricks exactly, can be turned out by such a machine in 8 hours per day, or in 8 hours a day, or by 8 hours a day. Or above 8 hours a day, let's just say here. The entire bricks will be called sunstruck. The entire bricks are manufactured by or even manufacturing this method exactly here are called or denoted as sunstruck as well for exactly as you can see here. يعني الطين والماء يمزجان ويذهبان إلى طاحونة pug mill. Clay and water are mixed exactly and go straight to the pug mill as you can see here. Soft pug mill which rolls exactly this into the plunger of the die chamber. Right exactly to the other. Or right exactly to the other side. Throughout a multiple 5-port or 5 compartments wooden molds exactly here. Then the molds will be exactly moved and were turned up or turned over, and the brick were taken as exactly to a filler of the break will be taken in the filler, so in order to be transferred right to the dryer, right to the dryer or above the dryer. The dust or the dust mold will be exact, or like I say, or the mold will be exactly washed and then dust with dry sand and then returned to complete the working cycle. About 30,000 K or 30,000 brick is been manufactured by this machine, or manufactured can be manufactured exactly here, or even can manufacture this very machine 8 hours a day. These bricks are called Sunstruck, or the entire bricks manufactured, or the entire bricks that manufactured this method exactly here can be called or can be referred to as Sunstruck. هنا طريقة soft mud brick اللي هي أرقى طريقة لحد الآن. which is going to be like exactly the most customized method ever been invented or ever been introduced exactly here to manufacture ceramic materials or manufacture the bricks, ceramics bricks as you are pretty much exactly here. So let's now move right exactly to the second method, or the method called judgering. Judgering, used largely in whitewares industry from plates and many types of hollow wares as they continue for whitewares is plentiful or refrigerators are used rarely manufacture the whiteware exactly here to form plates and many other types of the hollow products. Many types of the hollow wares as you can see, not products but only hollow wares other than the products as you can see. Judgering steps are as follows exactly here. Judgering functionality as well as judgering functionality as well as judgering mechanism. Mechanism of judging is be exactly listed as follows. يعني هنا قلنا جدرنج functionality يعني وظيفة الجدرنج اللي هي تستخدم بكثرة في صناعة الوايت وير الأجسام البيضاء أو في صناعة مو الأجسام البيضاء صناعة السيراميكيات البيضاء white wares. Used rarely to manufacture the white wares or used rarely in the industry of the white wares exactly here. Largely or rarely to form plates or many types of the hollow wares. several types of the hollow wares يعني تشكيل صفائح وكثير من انواع السيراميكيات المجوفه. مو المنتجات، هنا المنتجات مختلفه، منتجات برودكتس، احنا عندنا منتجات ويرز، بس هنا راح نقولها سيراميكيات مو منتجات. او نقدر نقول hollow articles, or you can just say hollow articles instead of the product, just instead of the product word, because the product word is way too much greater exactly to be mentioned in the circumstances we're actually having right now. So I'm not going to be able to introduce a word of products wired into the context that is we are running through this aspect right now. So I'm not going to be able to do any of that. We just have to move on right exactly step about the judging mechanism, which is pretty much described the judging mechanism as well as the judging characteristics, as you can see. This operation starts out with a clay lump. Or a lump of plastic clay exactly with the plastic integrity and suitable weight. يعني العملية تبدأ بقطعة طين ذات جسم لدن يعني with a plastic integrity يعني جسم لدن أو هيكل لدن ووزن ملائم with a suitable weight. 3. Formed into a round bat-like shape. Look like this. It's by hitting or by striking the lump of the clay by plaster Paris tool exactly, or by spring them into a rotary disc by using a very ascending tool, a very driving disc, or even like you say here eviding, or by deploy them in a rotary disc exactly here, or deploying them to a rotary disc or above a rotary disc by using a very ascending tool. يعني تشكل إلى شكل يشبه الخفاش around a bat-like. Formed into a round bat-like pancake يعني تشكل إلى شكل يشبه الخفاش مستدير يشبه القرص بضرب قطعة تشكل إلى شكل مستدير مو خفاش وإنما تشكل إلى شكل مستدير يشبه القرص بضرب قطعة الطين by striking the lump of the clay exactly by a very plaster Paris tool يعني بأداة من plaster Paris أو جبس باريس أو بنشرها على قرص دوار أو by deploying them exactly to a rotary disc or above a rotary disc by a descending tool بواسطة أداة مصعدية. The only section of the process, the only section of this task is different, and it's vital that is finished that be completely homogeneous. This section of the process only is going to be where the only the integrity is going to be formed throughout exactly here, or if only the integrity is going to be uniformed, and it's very essential for the disc to be very much completely and basically homogeneous. يعني هنا العملية هو يعني اللي نهتم فيه الجسم. المهم أن يكون القرص اللي ترمى أو تنشر عليه أداة الطين يكون متجانس تماما. Is essential for the disk at which the lump of clay is pretty much going to be spread, or pretty much going to be exactly deployed to be completely homogeneous, as you can see. This could be removed and the plastic parts mold exactly look like the upper sponge plate, or it looks like it's going to be exactly look like the upper plate shape. يعني ينقل القرص إلى قالب بلاستر باريس أو جبس باريس شكله مثل شكل الصفيحة العلوية. Pretty much like pretty much with the shape that's as much as the or as the same as the upper plate figure or upper plate shape as your upper plate or except here. This is the we just mentioned as well as the mechanism as well as the technicality of the jittering technique of the jittering methodology here to manufacture the ceramic object or ceramic wares as you are pretty much all aware of exactly here. This, which is visualized exactly, is going to be considered as the mechanism, as well as the methodology and the characteristics, as well as the features and the definition of the judgment method is exactly to manufacture the ceramic wares. Ceramic wares or the white wares, as well, pretty much all exactly. The white wares are the same as the ceramic wares. This mold, this is point 6, the point 6 is considered to be visualized the following. This one is going to be visualized the following. As you can see, this mold is replaced in a chuck in the outer end of the vertical shaft, which rotates over 300-400 RPM, revolution per minute, as you can see here. يعني القالب يوضع في التشك في النهاية العلوية للشفت العمودي أو لل شافت والذي يدور بسرعة من 300 إلى 400 دورة بالدقيقة revolution per minute. It will be done with water exactly here as well. The article, as you can see, for the mold. Mold will be replicate with water exactly to form a very accurate surface, a precise surface, and the edge will be abrased of the object, or there will be abrased of the wearer. تزييد الماء لتكوين سطح أملس ويتم قشط الزيادات في الجسم، أو يتم قشط الزيادات في الجسم. 8. يؤخذ القالب الجبسي والصفيحة من الجدر chuck. So the gypsum mold as well as the plates could be taken off the judder chuck and be sent through a continuous dryer. وترسل خلال مجففة مستمرة. 9. The ninth point is considered for the mechanism of the juddering. The actually visualized right now. Here to manufacture ceramic wares. The judder pretty much requires a high scale to form a very expensive plates free of wrinkling. يعني تتطلب عملية الجدر مهارة عالية تشكيل صفائح هائلة الحجم of maximum size frames that can be free of wrinkling خالي من التموج. أي انفعال غير متساوي any equiaxed strain exactly here of the objects will be displayed at calcination or will be displayed by calcination. أي انفعال متساوي في الجسم في القطعة سيطفو عند الحرق. أو سيبدأ بالتكون عند الحرق. will start formation exactly by calcination or throughout the calcination. Any equiaxed strain يعني أي انفعال غير متساوي المحاور أو متساوي المحاور. Any unequiaxed strain is here of the wares that are actually dealing with here will be coming to surface exactly will be displayed by calcination or at calcination or even let's just say not at calcination but only by calcination or even throughout calcination. The particular orientation of a clay to the judger surface is contributing the finalized flatting or the finalized flatting fineness for this very task that we're actually running right now. انتجاه جسيمات الطين على سطح الجدر تساهم في نعومة التسوية النهائية لهذه العملية. Contributes to the fineness of the final settlement of this very task. Final settlement or the final flatness of this final settlement or the final finalized form of this task. Exactly here, as you can see. As you can see around the Miller judger. A new method exists to manufacture the ceramic wares. يعني طريقة جديدة لتصنيع الأجسام السيراميكية. تستخدم automatic judger. تستخدم اوتوماتيك جدر يعني تستخدم جدر اوتوماتيكيه او مؤتمته. تستخدم عمود من الجسم اللدن using a hollow shaft of the plastic objects that currently or pretty much full fails that can feed the machine. تستخدم عمود من الجسم اللدن المحتوي على الهواء الذي يغذي الماكينه which feeds the machine. يقطع إلى أطوال صحيحة and it will be exactly separated into integral lengths and thrown above the judge molds as you can see in front of you. يقطع الأقوال وترمى thrown إلى قالب الجدر أو على قالب الجدر. يضغط القالب أمام قالب ساخن. And the mold we pressed will undergo a processing. Or the mold is going to be going a very hot pressing mold, exactly, or hot pressing technique exactly here. Pressed up against a heated die. The mold is going to be pressed up exactly here in front of the heat die, or the opposite of a heated die, or of a hot die. يضغط القالب أمام قالب ساخن. 5 4 من النقطة الرابعة. ينشر الجسم على قالب البلاستر باريس إلى حجمه النهائي تقريبا. مو جسم القطعة، تنشر القطعة. The articles will be pretty much going to be spread when the plaster Paris molds into almost finalized size, or right up to the almost finalized size, as you are pretty much exactly here. Approximately the final size, approximately above the final size. The die is heated as exactly to produce a very thin film of the steam that can prevent the sticking of the object. يسخن القالب داي يزيد حتى ينتج غشاء فيلم new film exactly is going to be exactly extracted from the steam or will be yielded from the steam that can prevent the sticking of the object الذي ينتج من البخار الذي يمنع التصاق الجسم. مو غشاء وإنما غطاء. Nuclear film exactly will be taken off the steam that can prevent the sticking of the object or prevent the adhesion of the object or the adhesion of the wear, as you can see here. The mold and the object, the formed object, will be exactly placed or located at the judger head, which stays vacuum of the air, which remains vacuum from the air. التي تبقى بوضعية مفرغة. قالب وجسم متكون توضع على جدر head أو توضع مع جدر head, will be placed right exactly with the judger head, right by the judger head, which remains with a vacuum position, or which remains in vacuum mode. التي تبقى بوضعية مفرغة which sustains at the vacuum mode. إن عملية الجدر تستهلك الطين. The judging technique is pretty much is a clay consumable technique as you all pretty much, because this is 8 point as you all pretty much all aware of exactly here. سرعة الجدر أعلى بكثير من سرعة اليدوية. The judger velocity way much harder than a manual will be used, or in case of this be used exactly here. So 500 to 1200 revolution per minute. يعني من 500 إلى 1200 دورة بالدقيقة سرعة الجدر. تنتج تسوى سطحية ناعمة. Ultra finest surface settlement due to aquatic automation of the surface, or mist water with a mist water, or with the water mist or aquatic mist. بسبب رش السطح بضباب مائي. يحمل القالب والصفيحة المنتهية إلى مجفف مستمرة, and the mold will be exactly loaded. The mold and the finished plate will be exactly loaded into a very continuous dryer when the plate is separated from the mold. When the plate gets separated from the mold. تزال وتشذب حوافها, removed, and edges are trimmed as well as dressed. قابلية خط مكائن 8 تقريبا يجهز 600. قابلية خط مكائن the machinability of the production the machinability of the lineup is approximately can supply 600 dozen per hour exactly. It's pretty much can escalate the costs. The supplyability, or the productivity, or just productive, but the supplyability is almost can supply supplyability of this very technique direction right exactly, or they were just utilized exactly here can estimatedly supply 600 dozen per hour exactly, or 10% dozen an hour, which pretty much can escalate the costs rates. قابلية خط مكان تقريبا يجهز 600 دزن بالساعة, وهي عملية مكلفة, تكون عملية مكلفة. كسيمي automatic judger تشبه ماكينة الجدر من حيث المبدأ. Pretty much similar to the judge machine in terms of the principle of the action. Can form fabrication example for many of the whole wares with a depth built up to them. Can be thrown a sphere of the object, or a sphere of the plastic wall will be exact, or the plastic article will be exactly thrown to or above that gypsum plastic wall, which can be located exactly to a corrosed, and then. New manufacturing tool the new instrumental tool will be ascended to the rotary mold, where it can be squeezed by the plastic objects above the interface between the mold surface and the tool. كرة من الجسم الاثنين إلى قالب جبسي, والذي يعني توصل إلى موقع الصنع, which so can be delivered exactly where to the point of location where the manufacture is done or implemented, or supposedly implemented to the corros. and then the instrumental tool will be exactly strictly descend to the mold or ascend to the rotary mold where it will be. Well, this will be exactly the instrumental tool. I mean, the instrumental tool will be squeezed حيث تحصر تنحدر إدارة الصنع إلى القالب أو تصعد إدارة الصنع إلى القالب الدوار حيث تحصر rotary mold حيث تحصر squeezed من طريق الجسم اللدن by the plastic object or by the plastic articles between the or the plastic article exactly here above the surface of the tool at the surface of the mold and the tool. فوق سطح القالب والأداة. 4. بهذه الحالة سطح القالب يكون السطح الخارجي، وأما جانب القالب فيكون الشكل الداخلي للقطعة. In this case, the mold surface will form the exterior surface while the both sides or the entire sides of the mold will form the interior or the indoor shape of the article. Indoor shape of the article. The roller head machine. مواصفاته. The usage as well as specs. Specs of this machine, as you can see from the machine that we're actually dealing with. As you can see in front, the roller machine will be visualized right now exactly here according to in terms of the specs as well as in terms of the usages. يعني الرولر ماشين ستشرح عن طريق المواصفات او بدلالة مواصفاتها وطلالة استعمالاتها. تستخدم تشكيل المنتجات المنضدية المستوية. Use form the flat tableware exactly as well as the hallways at the same time. والمجوفة كذلك. استعملت بدل جدر بالنسبة للأجسام الدقيقة. They are mostly basically used instead of jigger for the microwares, such as the tender ways, such as the porcelain, the hard porcelain, or the steel. The hard porcelain or the stiff porcelain, as you can see for it. Not just hard porcelain, but only it's going to be like exactly used for the whole different types of plate, which is going to be associated to the monotonite, such as the monotonite stiff as well as the hard monotonite. In this case, can be fully automized. يعني يمكن جعلها أوتوماتيكية بصورة كاملة. تعمل أشياء بيضاوية. This can fabricate or this can manufacture oval objects or oval figures or oval shapes. تنتج نفس معدل إنتاج الجدر. Same production rate as the jigger. اختلافا عن الجدر. The differentiation of the roller head machine of the jigger is going to be exactly visualized as follows. Instead of the blade, and the roller head machine is going to be contoured ruled will be used. يعني رولة أو سطح دوار قرص دوار كنتوري قرص دوار ذات أبعاد كفافية يستعمل مصبوغة ومسخنة. Pretty much dyed and heated up. Exactly be ascended upward and rotating the article. المنتوج rotating the article وتدور يعني تصعد الأعلى مو الأسفل هنا تنزل الأسفل تمسح descending outward is going to be exactly delayed from the fire context as well running through this aspect right now as you can see in front of you as well running through right now as you can see. So it will be replaced by a very ascending upward, heated and dyed, and we're going to be exactly ascended upward and heated and printed and heated exactly here and pretty much going to be ascended upward and rotating the article. The article and the mold, each of them are dried at a time. يعني القطعة والقالب كل منهما يجف على حدة. التجفيف السريع لا تستهلك قوالب. The drying of this is very technical. The roller head machine is pretty much going to be rapid and the technique is mold inconsumable. As you can see in front of you. Side of the pulley or the side of the roller, exactly, there's going to be a back shape of the exactly here, as you can see in front of you. طريقة العمل. طريقة العمل. The action method of the jigger or action method of the roller machine. A plastic Paris mold will be exactly used to face the entire aspect of the surface of the monolithic and will be placed by the jigger head and will be vacuumed and applied vacuum. Special application of the vacuum exactly will be applied in this case, and such an object part will be taken, which is pretty much going to be exactly full of air, or even full of air, where the automatically will be shredded into a roll of the object, or a roll of the article exactly, which feed by a built into a wire cutter, and this place will be placed to the rotary wool where the rotary mold. While the rotary wool, the heated rotary wool will be brought exactly up to automatically right into the point of contact with the plastic object or the plastic wire. The head of the roll as well as the jigger heads are rotating with different velocities so the plastic objects will be deployed right exactly as due to the pressure as well as due to the shear action to all regions of the mold surface, to the entire spots of the mold surface, as you can see upon you. Up to the entire spots of the mold surface. The roller will be heated up to prevent the addition or the sticking the object, the plastic object with the head exactly after the formation. The jigger head rotation will automatically be ceased as well as the rotation will be left. Exactly here for introduction of air exactly here, where the mold that carries the articles pretty much can be exactly placed by a dryer. Or it could be placed above the dryer, when liquid shrinkage will happen exactly here, the article will be exactly introduced of the above the mold, and the mold will be re-rotated through the machine, or the mold will be exactly re-rotated above the machine, as you are pretty much all aware exactly here. stiff plastic forming التشكيل الليني جامد كما ترون أمامكم. The most articles can be formed exactly by extruding them or forcing them through an orifice of the mold continuously by using an auger, or intermittently or just here discretely by using a plunger. Exactly here. يتم تشكيل الأجسام ببثقها force them through an orifice of the mold، يعني بثقها خلال قالب بصورة مستمرة continuously بواسطة auger by an auger or discontinuously أو بصورة متقطعة بواسطة plunger. عمل مقاطع طويلة ذات مقاطع عرضية بسيطة. Fabricating a long shaft with a simple cross-sectional area or simple cross-sections exactly, or even intricate cross-sections. يعني عمل مقاطع طويلة ذات مقاطع عرضية بسيطة أو معقدة. تقطع إلى مقاطع قصيرة أو مو مقاطع قصيرة، تقطع إلى مقاطع لعمل البلوك والأنابيب. It will be cut into a very cross sections for the manufacture of block as well as manufacture of tubes. Will be cut into very moderate cross sections exactly here for the manufacture of the block or the tubes. يعني تقطع إلى مقاطع لعمل البلوك والأنابيب. مو طابوق، مش طابوق مسحوه والله، صوب طابوق يعني متمسح. auger extrusion بثق البرم تنتج 10 طن بالساعة. العملية الثانية، العملية الخامسة auger extrusion as you can see. أو لا مو الخامسة، العملية السابعة auger extrusion as you can see. After the first operation or after the first technique for the manufacture of the ceramic wares exactly here, denoted as stiff or slip casting as you are pretty much all aware of exactly here. So as you can see, the auger extrusion is exactly could be denoted in Arabic as بثق البرم. بثق البرم is exactly is a synthetic ceramic ware manufacturer they can exactly can offer you 10 tons per hour, 10 tons of wares per hour. يعني 10 أطنان بالساعة فقط تعمل أحجار كبيرة. Only specialized for the manufacture of the huge sizes, only tremendous sized wares. The mixture of the feed and upward exactly will be needed by using blades exactly when it will be needed exactly by using blades in the center shaft, and at the same time will be forced through a series of the orifices of the DR chamber or even of the DR room as you will pretty much, or the DR room as you can see over here. يغذى المزيج من الأعلى. The mixture will be feeded from upward when it will be needed يعني حيث يعجن بواسطة الشفرات by blades في العمود المركزي through the central shaft. وبنفس الوقت in the same time will be forced through series of orifices or through series of openings. يعني وسوف تدفع خلال سلسلة من الفتحات أو من الشقوق، خلال سلسلة من الشقوق مو الفتحات في الغرفة المفرغة من كما ترون معكم. And the aired rooms exactly here. The aired rooms or the aired rooms. Aerated rooms as you see here, the aerated or the ventilated rooms as you can see in front of you. 2. The picked by another auger shaft. It will continue to be forced throughout the mold, and most of the times will be heated. This mold will be heated and replicated here to reduce friction, as you can see right here. يعني تلتقط بكتة بواسطة شفت برم آخر. يعني another auger extrusion shaft exactly here, and then will be forced ثم تدفع خلال قالب through mold. Most times will be the mold when we talk about it. Most times the mold will be heated and replicated exactly here, finally and optimally to escalate the friction. يكون في معظم الأحيان مسخن ومزيت. القالب يكون مسخن ومزيت. العمود الناتج من القالب the resulting shaft of the mold will be carried by moving belt or moving carriage. Will be carried out by exactly how the moving belt or carriage as you can see here. حزام ناقل أو عربة. يعني العمود الناتج من القالب يكون محمول will be carried or portable exactly by a moving belt or a carriage. وتقطع إلى طول مرغوب and will be shorted exactly towards the desirable length by using an extended wire بواسطة سلك ممتد. And the transaction exactly here. Your transaction might be placed within the mold exactly here. An intersection may be placed by the mold or even above the mold here to produce a hollow shaft, such as perforated bricks or even drain tile يعني كاشي اللي يكون كاشي التصريف يعني يتسرب من خلاله الماء. Drain tile as you can see in front of you. Either by perforated tiles as you can see in front of you, or perforated tiles, or even drain tiles as you can see as you all pretty much all of that here. the products, or even the, let's just say the matters or the articles are produced by such methods, exactly, which is pretty much called the products of auger extrusion, or products made by or manufactured by the auger extrusion, exactly here, or let's just say another products, only which is going to be like, it's going to be all of them going to be termed as the articles manufactured by the auger extrusion methods, exactly here, is going to be exactly denoted as the perforated bricks as well as, or perforated tiles, as indicated white for example, perforated tiles, as or the drain tiles, as you can see right here in front of you. يعني الأجزاء المصنعة أو الأجزاء المقاطع المصنعة بال section manufactured by the whole methods or by the whole manufactured throughout the whole section of the auger extrusion method, or actually visualized right now, exactly here that we have visualized right now, will be exactly as perforated tiles or even the drain tiles. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're just going to have to, or right now, let's just say right now, we're just going to have to move right on exactly to a new technique for manufacturing of the ceramic wares, as you all, ceramic wares, as you all pretty much all aware of, exactly here. يعني الآن سننتقل إلى طريقة التاسعة، هي لتصنيع المواد أو تصنيع السيراميكيات، واللي هي تعتبر ذات العنوان piston extrusion. piston extrusion، البثق بالكبس. مكبس البستن يستعمل للبثق. خطوات التكنيك، الخطوات التقنية للتصنيع. The manufacturing technique steps, as you can see in front of you, can be listed right exactly according to the following dots, as you can see in front of you, listed right here, written all over. As you can see in front of you, 1, the cylinder will be filled exactly with a plastic stiff article, with a plastic article shredded, in condition that should be shredded exactly, and which is going to be forced into the mold to form a very uniform shaft that can be shredded exactly to desirable lengths. يعني تمت الاسطوانة بقطعة لدنة جامدة stiff like the article can be shredded in condition that should be shredded. In condition that the article should be shredded exactly here. يعني بشرط أن تكون مقطعة والتي يدفع which can be forced exactly, which will be forced exactly to a mold to form a uniform shaft. يدفع إلى قالب يكون عمود منتظم يقطع لأطوال مرغوبة. This is for sure exactly could be shredded right into the desirable lengths, as you can see from it. Most of the time the cylinder will be evacuated from the air after being feeded. يعني أحيانا يعني أكثرية الأوقات الأسطوانة تفرغ بعد أن تغذى. After it gets feeded. After the cylinder gets feeded. يعني بعد أن تغذى الأسطوانة. تعطي أعمدة منتظمة أكثر من عملية الأوغر. The best extrusion technique, which is going to be exactly here, an extrusion technicality according has been done or exactly implemented according to the technicality, or let's just say here according to the action principle of compression. action principle of compression يعني إن عملية أو التكنيك مقنن أو مؤتمت خلال تقنية الكبس، خلال تقنية الضغط. The organized technique we're about to go through right now, we are currently going through right now, as you can see, for example, exactly used to much chemicalized by using the technicality of compression or technicality of pressing, as you can see. Just like the word, the term piston pretty much indicates, as you can see. This piston extrusion technique that we're actually going through right now, exactly as you can see in front of you, gives a very uniform shaft, more than the auger would do. There's a difference of density between the outer and the center of the shaft. Between the outer and the center of the shaft. يعني هناك فرق بالكثافة بين خارج ومركز العمود، كثافة البلك المادة. There's going to be a difference of density. There's going to be a difference exactly between the outer the bulk points and the entire centric shaft points. يعني النقاط المركزية بالعمود، النقاط الخارجية والنقاط المركزية للعمود، اختلاف بالكثافة. تستخدم لصناعة الحرارات وبيوز exactly manufacturing the refractoriness of the grain of refined grains, refractoriness and the electronic articles. تستخدم لصناعة الحراريات ذات الحبيبات والقطع الإلكترونية أو الشرائح الإلكترونية. Will be used exactly here to manufacture the huge grains or refractories, as you can see, exactly as well as the electronic chips or even the electronic articles. Use plasticizers. يعني تستخدم ملدنات مثل الميثوسيلولوز as well as the polyvinyl alcohol. Use plasticizers. This very technique that we're actually going through right now is okay, all we're going to be using the plasticizers, except for acquiring the material to the required stiffness, or for acquiring the bulk, the required stiffness that we try and reach, that we all actually try and reach exactly here. يعني تستخدم ملدنات لإكساب المادة to make the material gain the required stiffness or the required plasticity exactly here they were actually trying to look for or they were actually all trying to reach. تستخدم بلاستيسايزرز مثل الميثوسيلولوز as you can see from the methylcellulose is plasticizer as well as a polyvinyl alcohol for plasticizer as well as polymeric plasticizer as well as you can see for the alcohol placed by the cylinder as a disc will be forced with a pressure of 5,000 pound per square inch through the mold or above the mold. What you see here above the mold. الجسم يوضع على الاسطوانه كقرص يدفع بضغط 5000 باوند للانش او خلال 5000 باوند خلال او فوق القالب مو خلال هنا وانما خلال تبدلوها لازم. As you can see, the through is going to be like exactly stood by the words of the term above the mold. As you can see, above the mold is going to be more suitable for the context we're already put right now. As you can see, a binding agent will be added white into the shredded article. تضاف مادة رابطة للقطعة المقطعة أو للشريحة المقطعة. To the shredded or the cut article, exactly, or the shredded article. So the shredded article. As you can see, as you all all over the country. This is the 8th point. 9 points is illustrate the following technique, or the following step techniques. As you can see, in this method, we can manufacture articles with diameter 1 millimeter diameter extended with 6 orifices, or just with 6 cavities of 0.2 millimeter, as you can see, diameter. أنابيب مجاري السور can be manufactured by using the vertical piston extrusion. يعني يمكن صنعها بواسطة البثق بالمكبس أو البثق العمودي. Vertical extrusion only, but not pressing, but not with piston. The vertical extrusion only, but not with piston here, exactly. As well as that technically, without the technicality of the pressing, or even without the technicality of the pressure, exactly here. The sewer pipes exactly will be manufactured by this method. Vertical extrusion, but not the vertical piston extrusion, or the not vertical piston extrusion, exactly. Without with the vertical piston extrusion, I want you to differentiate between the piston extrusion as well as the vertical extrusion. The vertical extrusion is way too much different than the piston extrusion, which is pretty much going to be exactly confirming the way or the context we're running through right now currently, as you are pretty much all aware of, exactly here. يعني يمكن صنعه بواسطة البثق العمودي اللي هو يختلف عن البيستون اكستروجن، يختلف عن البثق بالكبس. Characterization, as you can see, for the cornice stones, as well as the usage and the characteristics and features and the specs of the cornice stone, as you can see here, that we have already visualized. يعني cornice stone الطين الcornice stone اللي قلنا هو فلكس طبعا. توضيحات عنه وتقسيماته وخواص او مواصفاته و فوائده والوانه. Cornerstone is going to be exactly defined as follows, which is going to be considered as a clay consists of the feldspar or the clay of the feldspar plus the kaolins, composed of both the feldspar and the kaolin, or composed by the feldspar as well as the kaolin, as considered. Or composing the feldspar and the kaolin, as you can see for you. Cornerstone is going to be exactly a main concentration for the feldspar as well as the kaolin plus the kaolin, as you can see right here, written all over for you, which is the most understanding of the flux, as you can see for you. There's a question here about the cornerstone, which is pretty much going to be considered as maximum essentiality. يعني هنا السؤال عن الكورنيش ستون، يعني كارنيش ستون حتى يكون ذات سؤال يعني يكون متردد أو متكرر معظم الأحيان. إيش يعني بين السبب للون الأرجواني للكورنيش ستون. Due to inclusions, as you can see from here. Such as the feldspar, the TAF2, the calcium fluoride, which is very much a toxicative material or a toxicative article. يعني or not toxicative, non-toxicative article. Non-toxicative articles pretty much not as well as pretty much possessing no threat right at the edge of the health and environment. Possesses no threat. This article, the TAF2, as you can see from here. The basic color is not white but purple. The basic color is not white purple. And according to the purple color, as you can see in front of you, could be divided into into three sections, as you can see in front of you. According to the density of the color, as you are pretty much or the density of the inclusions throughout, or just the inclusions about the bulk or about the cornice stone they're actually visualizing right now, as you can see, as you are pretty much all aware of exactly, as you can see in front of you. So, hard purple, يعني أقسام البربل لون أرجواني بالنسبة للمتضمنات. hard purple as well as مو بالنسبة للمتضمنات بالنسبة للمادة الأساسية for the fundamental or the pivotal bulk. As you can see, for the purple is for the hard purple as well as mild purple, the section 2, as well as the dry white. All types are rich with feldspar and contains not that much of white. Contain not that much of white, as you can see over here. This is the cornerstone, all by the cornerstone, as you can see over here. This is really strongly required to be memorized and obligatory should be comprehended and memorized as well in the same time, as you can see over here. يعني يجب أن يحفظ إيجابيا وإلزاميا لأن الكورنيش ستون مهم جدا وتعريفه وألوانه ومواصفاته. the color, as well as the definition of the cornerstone, we just had exactly here, we just visualized. Bank out will shortly go find results, as you can see in front, as well as the specs of the cornerstone. Now, just get more right on exactly to the bone ash. Bone ash, new sort of clay, which is pretty much considered as bone ash, considered as clay to be used exactly with bone china, as well as the bone ash can be considered as eco-friendly. And the calcination is a critical task to be conducted as well for the bone ash, as you can see here. يعني الكلسنة عملية مهمة. The calcination is a process, or just the calcination is a very task of maximum essentiality to be done exactly right into the bone ash, right, or to be done right above the bone ash, right for the, or let's just say to the bone ash. As well as bone ash can be used for degylation of the with the steam, or in company with steam, the bone ash will be used for degylation of the most of the original articles. As well as the bone ash can be used يستخدم لإزالة المواد أو يستخدم for gelation. It can be used exactly for gelation. It can be used with steam or with or in company with steam exactly here to when associated with steam exactly to remove or even to introduce or to access the original part the original article as well exactly here by using the gelation technique. يعني يستخدم بعملية بالعملية الجيلاتينية أو يستخدم مع البخار خلال عملية تسمى عملية التجلية أو خلال تكنيك مو عملية تكنيك تسمى عملية التجلية لإضافة مادة إلى المادة الأصلية. To introduce many of the articles exactly right into the main bulk or the original bulk. Used to moisturize when heat to 900 centigrade, as you can see in front of you. We'll be able to introduce the H2O as well as CO2, as you can see in front of you. يستخدم للرطوبة عند تسخينه إلى 900 سنتيغراد يستخدم لإضافة ال H2O وال CO2 كما ترون. يستخدم في غسل وترطيب الحبيبات لتنعيمها حوالي 80. Abuse exactly to wet as well as to moisturize the grains for 80 content, about for 80 content, or more than 9 microns, as you can see in front of you. This is all about bone ash. As you can see, the talc here, exactly just like we said, the talc can be separated into two sections with chemical formulations written all over right here. Let's like right before you. As you can see, the talc is cordierite, section to the cordierite, the talc, as well as the enstatite, as you can see in front of you. Enstatite chemically formulated as the MgO. يعني التركيب يقسم إلى قسمين من أنواع الأطيان. الكورديرايت اللي هي مع التركيب الكيميائي التالي كما أمامكم. 2 MgO 2 Al2O3 أكسيد المغنيسيوم وأكسيد الألمنيوم الألومينيا و5 SiO2 أكسيد السيليكون اللي هي السيليكا. The talc is the magnesium silicate and the talc can be considered as exactly as an element or essential element of the smectite or the monomer group. يعني يعتبر من العناصر للسمكتايت لمجاميع السمكتايت والمونتمرنايت. As you can see, and the second section of the talc is indicated for example written over by the enstatite term, which is chemically formulated as follows. يعني يكون له التركيب الكيميائي كالتالي. The chemical composition or the formulation exactly for the enstatite is going to be exactly as follows, as written over right here for you. The MgO, أكسيد المغنيسيوم, as well as the SiO2, أكسيد السيليكون أو السيليكا أو المغنيسيا. Another is going to be exactly for over high cracking or low cracking, as well as high strength and the good grazing resistance. Or good faulting resistance, or even just say excellent faulting resistance, as you can see here. The talc, or the wares of talc here resulting from the talc, will be of high temperature, as well as will be of elevated temperatures, as well as elevated heat. Calcinated above 1200 centigrade is the upper right here. The talc can be result into quartz, as well as the thermal, or let's just say the moisture expansion, or the linear moisture expansion coefficient will be exactly as much as possible through it, or even by the talc, as you can see here. تمدد وبتمدد الرطوبة وكذلك يتبخر عنه كوارتز ويحترق في درجة حرارة or calcinated at in the temperature of 1200 centigrade يحترق درجة حرارة 1200 سنتيغراد. أطيان الكاولين كما ترون أمامكم. Kaolin, as you can see here. Fire rocks or sedimentary rocks can be exactly igneous rocks can be exactly subdivided into igneous rocks as well as sedimentary rocks, or alto rocks or metamorphic rocks as well as residual deposits, or just residual deposits or residual rocks here, as you can see residual rocks يعني صخور متبقية أو صخور متحولة وكذلك صخور نارية وصخور رسوبية كاولينات. The carbonate rocks is actually will be formed by exactly the weathering for the oolitic or the pigmatics, or the mica schests, as the following reaction pretty much states. or as the following direction pretty much states, as you can see over here. The Calamity is a very fine rock with clay molecules right exactly in the place. Or the clay molecules remain sustained in place, exactly in the original place, exactly, or remain sustained right by the original place, such as in a lake or such as in a lagoon, as you can see over here. Just like we said, in case of we have the calculated form of the altar rocks، يعني إذا عندنا كونان بصورة صخور متحولة أو صخور متبقية، or in case of the residual rocks, as you can see in this case the kaolins will turn exactly to be a very significant sort of the pegmatite. This is a characteristic sort of the kaolins exactly here, which is pretty much considered as an altar rocks or metamorphic rocks، يعني صخور متحولة. إذا pegmatic, as you can all pegmatite is pegmatite sort of like exactly which is pretty much associated with the kaolins, just like we said, is going to be considered as a metamorphic rocks of the residual rocks of the kaolins, sustained by its original position or by its location with the dissolved rock split or fragments. يعني مع شظايا الصخور المتحللة. الكاولين، تفاعلات الكاولين هي كالتالي كما قلنا. يتكون بفعل التجوية. The kaolins will be exactly formed by the weathering or by weathering of the pegmatite rocks, which is going to be turned into the pegmatic or the pegmatic metamorphic rocks exactly after the weathering action is implemented, or after the weathering action is pretty much becomes so effective. As you can see, as well, the mica schist can be exactly introduced or be as a sort, or exactly as a sort of the kaolins formations, as the following reaction pretty much indicate. As you can see, KAlSi3O8. HAl results in the HAlSi3O8 plus KOH, as you can see. This is the hydrolysis, التحلل المائي. تحليل المائي مو تحلل وإنما التحليل المائي. HAlSi3O8, as you can see from the same HAl3 results from the first step of the technique, or the first step of the chemical technique, as you can see from you. Formulation this exactly will be exactly upgoing technique of distillation, as you can see from you, as indicated right here written all over. HAlSi3O8, HAlSiO4, as you can see from you, plus 2 SiO2. This relation can be exactly ripped off this or it's going to be exactly introduced to this very compound, as indicated for you by the following chemical formulation of the HAlSi3O8, as indicated right here for you. So 2HAlSiO4 plus H2O will result exactly here 2HAlSiO4 resulting from the second step, as you can see in front of you, is going to be exactly combined with water in the form of the hydration. In this case, this step of the delivery technique is going to be called this step of hydration, associated to the hydration by associating the following compounds resulting from the second step exactly white with water in the form of HL or 2HAlSiO4. And 2 is going to be added exactly here for ames exactly here. The plus H2O, as you can see for you. 2 is going to be added exactly here for the HAlSiO4 just by association to the H2O, as you can see for you. So this is resulting in the following compound. The following compound is going to be associated to the following composition, as you can see for OH by 4. OH4 is the default for the Al2Si2O5. This is the kaolin. This is the resulting kaolin compound, as you can see for you, by using the hydration technique, which is going to be considered as the first technique of the chemical formulation or the chemical technicality that we just did visualize for exactly. البنتونايت، طين البنتونايت، أصيان البنتونايت. Very plastic bulks. Very plastic، يعني لذيذة جدا. تظهر متانة جفاف عالية جدا. Display a high drying strength as very ultra drying strength. Contains inclusions as well as contains the montamonite. تحتوي شوائب مو شوائب تحتوي montamonite. The general term of clays مصطلح عام الأطيان كما قلنا لا تستخدم باسم عام في white wares. Used not in or used in high proportions up here, or used in high proportions above the white wares as well, pretty much all over except here. So the mineral clay of the bentonite is not the kaolins. يعني الطين المعدني فيها الكاولينات. The mineral clay of the bentonite is the kaolins, as you can see from main mineral clay, or the mineral clay, not the main, but only the mineral clay of the kaolin of the bentonite, as you can see in front of you, is going to be like the kaolins. Used in high proportions above the white wares because they can cause very ultra-negative effect positively the flocculency, as you are pretty much all aware of here. Many materials can be added exactly here frequently for the plastic wares such as bone china. For the high plastic wares such as bone china, this addition increases manageability or workability and the toughness of the article, but the extra addition will lead to drying. إلى الإضافة الزائدة تؤدي إلى جفاف. هنا كل اللي ذكرناها في المحاضرة الأولى، العوامل اللي بنذكرها الآن the factors of the agents that we're actually mentioning, we just mentioned for exactly right now, as well as the chemical formulation for the kaolins that we just visualized exactly are all associated to the lecture 1 of this very context, which is pretty much associated to the ceramic manufacturing. or the ceramic materials in general, or the ceramic materials, the ceramic materials above the general, or generally the ceramic materials all entirely. حشيل materials والله. So as you guys get over, ladies and gentlemen, we just gonna have to write exactly be through a new technicality of manufacture the ceramic bulk of the ceramic wares as you open or exactly here. As exactly the title of this very technique we're about to go through exactly is going to be called the plastic pressing by RAM, by the special instrument tool called the RAM, as you can see already. يعني المكبس. As you can see, for the technicality is going to be implemented through a series of the technicality we're about to go through right now. As you can see, for the to be implemented throughout the series of systematized manufacturing articles is going to be exactly denoted by the following sketches or terms as indicated. What terms of sketches are indicated by the following consists of the molds. Two molds are pressing the exact same bulk is right together in a form that contains many openings as indicated right here for you. Containing many openings that you can see. The both molds of the RAM as are indicated right for is considered depending on the openings exactly. It could be exactly different, or even they can be exactly contributed in the to air evacuation exactly after being pressed or after the bulk being pressed, as you can see. So the air evacuation is to be exactly resulting from the existence or let's just say the existence of the very following openings as you can see by each of the for each of the following molds, or the following two molds are going to be used as RAM tools to press the bulk articles to produce a very fine articles or very fine highly detailed articles as you can see by using the following two molds of the RAM technique as you're pretty much exactly you're about to go through right now as you can see. So this is plastic Paris mold as indicated for the guys, as well as the plastic articles can be exactly introduced right into each of the following molds that you can see in front of you. Of course, it can be introduced right into the moderate molds, which could be exactly this very mold as indicated right in front of you, which is mainly composed of the plaster of Paris, as is indicated right exactly, and the article will be pressed between the both RAM sections as indicated right in front of you. Both RAM sections, which are mainly, just like we said here, our molds consist of many openings here for the air evacuation aims, as indicated right in front of you. So the plastic article bucket will be exactly pressed in the air as well as between two plaster Paris molds as indicated right exactly here. ظهر شريحة القطعة اللدينة باكت المفرغة تضغط ما بين قالبين البرد، يعني تحصر between two plaster Paris molds as indicated which are mainly going to be considered and basically going to be taken as the both RAM sections as indicated which contain options for air evacuation or for air evacuation or de-aeration or just not air evacuation but for air aims. For air aims يعني لأغراض الهواء لأغراض الترويج for ventilation aims exactly for the article which is confined by between the both sections of the RAM which are mainly called as molds as indicated by for exactly to form plates or any further articles. تشكيل البليت تشكيل صفائح أو تشكيل يعني تشكيل الشرائح. اثنين the hydrogen of the molds will be exactly implemented by a stronger current. Three, the plaster Paris molds will be contained by a metal mold used to grab or put the entire molds all together exactly when pressing or when pressed. يستعمل مسك القوالب عند الضغط. Four, the molds will contain a very porous pipes will be infiltrated by a very pipes that can be used for pressing technicality or exactly when the mold is worked. يعني or with the molds or the entire mold or the entire technicality or or the entire technicality is pretty much set on. يعني القالب العلوي والسفلي يحتوي على أو تكون فوقه أنابيب مسامية. The upper exactly upper but not the lower molds exactly here. Upper plus Paris molds exactly will be not infiltrated but not infiltrated but only will be subject to the application of the very types as the key word. Subject to the application of the very types as the key word, for example, here will be used or will be exactly crowned by pipes. Crowned by pipes will be used for pressing when the technicality of the mold is pretty much set on. يعني تستخدم عملية الضغط عند تشغيل القالب. 5. يسلط ضغط هوائي على الأنبوب لتجفيف قالب الورق. New air pressure exactly will be exactly right exerting the pipes or even exerting the mold, not the mold here, not the pipes. Exerting the mold, the new air pressure exactly will be exerting the mold to dry the plaster Paris mold. in order for drying of the plaster Paris molds. يعني يصير ضغط هوائي على القالب لتجفيف البرج، لتجفيف الجبس باريس. 6 points. The permeability will become very high through or even above the set plaster Paris molds, as you can see. Or to say here to dry, or the air pressure will be exactly exerted right to the mold to dry not the mold, or to dry the Borg molds, as you can see, or the gypsum molds, not the plaster Paris, as you are pretty much exactly here. يعني القالب هنا مو بورق وإنما مو جبس باريس، جبس اعتيادي. Regular gypsum molds, it will be dried by using the application of a strong air pressure right exactly to the mold. 6 point, as you can see already, the permeability will become so ultra by the set gypsum mold. 7 القالب العلوي ينتزع بتسليط أو القالب السفلي ينتزع بتسليط ضغط هواء عالي. The lower mold will be exactly displaced, or if you just here, will be exactly both molds. I mean, both molds, and then the both molds, the lower molds, as they were pretty much all of it, will be exactly taken off by the exertion or the application of the high rate air pressure. 8 At the pressure, the article will came so intact exactly with the upper mold exactly, and a new air pressure will be exactly dislocating the mold again. 9 A lever will be placed to the mold exactly here, so the article would not be adhesed or would not be stick to the mold. So as you can see, we're utilizing whole new different set of molds exactly here. They all have to be moisturized. يعني عند استخدام قوالب جديدة لابد من ترطيبها. 11 the word is very essential to give the or to make the compressed article gain the very sufficient rigidity to be removed exactly from the mold exactly here without any crack or without any deterioration, as you are pretty much all aware of exactly here. So as you can see, 12 we can introduce water that the gypsum saturated with the gypsum molds are entirely saturated with exactly by an air pressure right exactly to the mold applied or applied directly to the mold. يعني يمكن زيادة كمية الماء. We can increase the quantity of water that we can increase the quantity of water cause the saturation for the gypsum molds entirely by air pressing right to each of the following molds that are used to conduct this technicalized task that we're actually performing right now, as you are pretty much all aware of exactly in this case, as you all can see. So by application of the air pressure right exactly to the molds that comprise the article, as well as the metallic article, or just here the plastic article exactly here, which force the water to contact with the gypsum mold of the surface. Then afterwards, the water will be exactly whipped off, or the water will be exactly introduced right on exactly here. The advantage of the RAM process, or the advantage of RAM techniques, as you can see, yielding circular products or circular articles such as the dishes or oval dishes or rectangular dishes or square dishes, as you are all exactly here. يعني إنتاج منتجات دائرية صحون بيضاوية أو مربعة أو مستطيلة. 2 yielding much intricated articles or much intricated CNC or even much intricated articles. يعني إنتاج مواد أو إنتاج قطع أكثر تعقيدا، مو مواد وإنما قطع أكثر تعقيدا. The numbers of technicality as regards for the articles orientation during manufacturing. as you're pretty much all here. يعني توجد تقنيات نتيجة اتجاه الجسيمات خلال التصنيع. As a result, for the orientation of the particles or the orientation of the articles during manufacturing. بضغط المادة اللدينة لا توجد حركة المادة. There will be no motion in the object. There will be no let's just here no there will be pretty much motion of the object exactly here by pressing the plastic article to the surface of the slug, or to the surface of the let's say here to the surface of the roller head, or to the surface of the roller only, but not head. Exactly here. So inward flow of the object will lead to 90 degrees difference of the article's orientation between the corners of the object, as well as between the interface of the object, as well as the interface of the article, as well as the interface of the mold. ضغط المادة الذي لا تتحرك المادة على سطح الجسم السلاك سيحدث تدفق من داخل الجسم يؤدي إلى اختلاف 90 درجة. There will be a flow from inwards exactly here that leads or exactly here that can result in the 90 degree difference of the orientation of the articles between the interface of the articles as well as the interface of the mold. قوالب البرج محتوات بقالب ويمكن يستعمل لمسك القوالب عند الضغط. The plaster parts, or the plaster, or not the plaster, or the gypsum molds are contained by a metallic molds that can exactly use to put all the molds all together when pressed, or when they are entirely pressed, when they are, or even in pressing, when they are entirely in pressing. Exactly here. The upper molds that can both contain coiled, as well as contain tubes, as well as contain embedded. Embedded molds, or the upper molds contains many sections, such as coil sections, as well as tube sections, as well as embedded sections, as well. Pretty much all over here. So let's just say here, the gypsum plaster, or just say here, the gypsum molds. Just say that the molds are used exactly in this very technical direction. Right now is pretty much entirely and basically manufactured of the plaster, but not gypsum, or gypsum but not plaster. Gypsum entirely manufactured of gypsum, but not plaster. The molds are entirely manufactured of gypsum, or entirely composed of gypsum, other than to be composed of plaster, as you will pretty much already exactly here. As many of the further technologies that we have visualized exactly here, where most of the molds are manufactured mainly and basically by plaster Paris gypsum, or plaster Paris gypsum molds exactly here. So as you can see, the gypsum molds are contained metallic molds used to put all the molds together in pressing, when they are exactly introduced by pressing, or they are entirely pressed. تم بحمد الله رب العالمين.